Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
While you're in sunny Florida, be sure to visit
Orlando! Enter into a world of epic adventure.
How long has it been since we've done a podcast?
How long has it been since we've done a podcast with all three of us? I could not tell you the last time we did one. It was a while ago. We talked about Heish, the Realm of Light.
Yeah?
Like that Heish?
Like that Heish.
Okay.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
That was a really long time ago.
Ladies and gentlemen of the world at large, welcome to Warlando.
Orlando!
It's the first time we've recorded in a long time.
It is.
We recently recorded with Daniel. Unfortunately, Mark, you couldn't have been.
No, I was not able to attend. No, that I hear that was an awesome, fun night.
We had a fun night.
Yeah.
He brought over some great pizza.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
well,
nice.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Very nice.
It was good. Listen to the episode. It's going to be the episode before this one.
Excellent. Did you
Whatever
talk
this
about
one
the
is.
pizza, though?
We talked briefly about the pizza. We
Pizza
also
sounds
talked
really good
about-
right now.
Doesn't that sound good? I have
sounds
some
amazing.
pizza out there in the next room. We'll take
Yeah.
a break. We'll have some pizza. But what did we do
Pizza break.
this evening? What was this evening's activity?
It was game 6 of our skirmish campaign.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our skirmish campaign, which is a skirmish game. We're playing Forbidden Power.
Yeah.
We're playing that campaign, and we're playing
But-
Triumph and Treachery.
Right. There's
Yeah.
3 of us. So how do you play normal Warhammer games,
But
Triumph and Treachery?
Age of Sigmar core rule set.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
So-
too.
We're,
Yeah.
we're doing a lot. We're doing a lot of different rules.
And packing it in.
compacted
Also
into one.
custom rules.
Lots
Thanks
of-
to Nicholas.
Yes, also those character builder rules.
Yeah.
So what?
That's pretty awesome.
Why don't we just take a moment to introduce ourselves? First,
Yeah.
around the table, Nicholas, why don't you go first?
I'm Nicholas,
Hello, Nicholas.
and I am here on the podcast talking to you right now about
Live.
me. I am
Live but undead.
I am playing undead.
I know.
All right, so
They're pretty
are
fabulous.
we talking about our campaign? Are we talking about what are you talking about here?
Talk about yourself.
Okay, so I play a few different armies. I play the Cardron Overlords.
Yeah.
I play the Glitz, which is the Gloomspite Gits.
Yeah, Glitz,
Shortened
as everybody
to
should know them.
Glitz.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. And I have, Dispossessed from Days of Old, and I have Orcs or Orcs from Days of Old, and Iron Weld something from Days of Old.
The Ironweld Arsenal.
Arsenal, yep, exactly. And I have a Death Army, and so Legions of Nagash. So my current Age of Sigmar, kind of Age of Sigmar-ish armies are Cardron Overlords, Legions of Nagash, and Glitz.
Lot going on.
A lot going on, lots to paint, lots to rebase, lots to do this, lots to do that, and yeah.
And our next host of the evening is
Yes. Who is it?
you.
Oh, me? Oh, geez. All right. I'm Orlando Mark coming at you. So,
And your game, your armies of choice.
yeah, armies of choice, anything chaos. Presently, right now, playing Khorne. Next up to bat is going to be the possibly Ever Chosen or Slaves to Darkness. So,
Nice.
yeah, going that route. And then, a close second to that second is going to be Slaanesh. Really digging this new Slaanesh stuff.
So popular
It's
right
so
now.
sexy.
And my name's Adam. I'm one of your hosts. I play a lot of Daughters of Cain. Love Daughters of Cain. Darkling Covens I love too. And lately I've been playing a lot of Orcs. And Skaven are always on the back burner because I love Skaven.
Yeah, they screw everything up.
They do, and I love
Yeah, in a good way.
I love their lore, and I love the idea of us being in Orlando, Florida, and kind of feeling like the Skaven run everything around here.
Yeah, we always said that we kind of live in the shadow of the rat.
Yeah, it's
Shadow
true.
of the Rat. Yep.
Yeah, we
I mean-
absolutely do.
Just real quick, one of our local players, Scott, he posted on Facebook that he plays the Sklan Scryer.
There we go. We can call it Sklan now.
Clan
Yeah.
Scryer.
Clan Scryer.
Yeah.
And that has the those big guys with the guns that you can do.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What are those guys? Storm Fiends? Or
Storm
something?
Fiends.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, Storm Fiends. Yep.
Storm Fiends?
Yep.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, he sent me a picture of his army, and it is like a quarter of the models that you would usually expect from a rat's army. From Skaven. Because usually Skaven's like, hey, we've got like 40 blocks of rats here. We've got 60 blocks of rats here.
Lots
we
of
got
bodies.
60, whatever, huda. He had like 25 models.
Yeah, that sounds about right. With the Clan Scryer, the Storm Fiends are like the rat ogres on steroids with all kinds of different added weapons to them, and they come in a unit of 3. And if you have the Scryer Allegiance, you can use them as battle line. And so 3 units of 3, you have 9 total models in your battle line for Skaven. How crazy is that to think of them having only 9 models in their battle line
At minimum.
That's amazing.
And then you fill in the points with a Doom Wheel or a couple of Warp Lightning cannons, and then a general. Yeah, you can have almost no models on the table and have a Clan Scryer army. That's crazy, devastating, because they can drill underground with their drill things, and then they have the those portals that the Skaven can go through underground. The gnaw holes, they can just show up wherever.
That's so cool.
Yeah, they have a lot going on right now. If a Clan Scryer army, if you want a really low model count, powerful army, Clan Scryer,
They're just fun.
great place to start.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, lots of fun. So
anyway,
welcome to Orlando, everybody. Here we are. We are a bit discombobulated, if you guys are listening. We just finished our game 6 of our tournament, our little campaign that we're running between the 3 of us.
Mm-hmm.
So we are doing, like we said, we are doing a skirmish campaign. There's also a Forbidden Power campaign. That is also a Triumph and Treachery campaign. So we've got lots of different rules and everything happening. Plus, we've got a standing rule that we, each round of the game, we have at least 1 beer, and that we have at least 1 shot of Bugmans.
At least 1 shot per game.
Per game.
Per game.
Of Bugmans.
Yeah.
Yes, per game.
And Bugmans for us is basically Jägermeister.
Jaeger.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can't go wrong there.
And just from the classic days of us, when we first started playing together, Warhammer Fantasy, and we were playing when we played 3-person battles, the best thing before Triumph and Treachery, because that was actually before they released an official
true.
Yeah.
3-person game,
Yeah.
or multiplayer game.
Something official, yeah.
Yeah, we played the Bugmans, from the 7th edition, whatever the battle plan was called, like Bugman's
Brew
Card or
something,
Bugman's Brewery or something like that. And it was just the best for multiplayer because Bugman was at the middle and you were going for his juice.
Yeah, there were. If I remember correctly, there were 2 objectives in that old one. There was you wanted to get the brewery itself, which was a building in the middle of the table.
Yes.
Yep.
And try to fortify it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And and
You
then
would garrison the building,
Yep.
and then if you had garrisoned it, your garrisoned unit would succumb to drinking Bugmans, right? And
Yeah,
they
they couldn't
became
stop
immune,
themselves.
or they became stupid, or
no,
what
there
was
was
the thing called?
the
to
thing
make
where
a
you can't
roll.
stop from charging. I
Right.
remember. Yeah,
it was
you-
it was stupidity.
frenzied.
Stupidity.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think
Well,
it was
the
stupidity.
test was a stupidity test.
yeah, it was a stupidity test.
Yeah.
and so you would have to take that,
And it would
each
just
turn.
like degrade each turn. It would
Yeah.
get harder and harder to,
And
be
then there
able to
was
make that roll.
And there
to
was
save
the
it.
cart.
the cart.
So Bugman's cart with some brew would be trying to get out of there while everybody's getting in there, and then he would try to get away, and
Yeah.
you'd go grab the cart, and
Back when most games were all about causing the most destruction. These games were all about these different victory points from holding these objectives, and
Yeah.
that's what eventually Warhammer became all about. Early on, it felt like, to me, at that point, it was about causing more destruction to your opponent. Now with Age of Sigmar, the way it is, it's all about the victory points.
Yep. Yeah. And that's very 40K. So, back in 7th edition 40K or 6th edition and 7th edition and then now 8th edition, 40K was a lot about objectives. And so you would start each game, you would put the objectives out on the table and you would draw cards and you would do things. And, it was very much like I could just go charge and shoot and do this, but that's not going to get me any points.
Yeah.
So, but I can go over here and get points and go over here and get points. And really, it kind of shake things up, which I actually like.
I do
shaking
too.
the shaking up of objectives. But you kind of get some good ones, and then every once in a while you get a dud.
I really like that because I think it evens the playing field for everybody. Because I think there used to be the whole rock, paper, scissors. I have a rock army, you have a paper army. There's no way I can beat you. But now with the victory point option, there's more than one way to secure a victory.
Right. Back in 40K when they had the Imperial Knights coming out and people started doing multiple Imperial Knights, different things like that.
Yeah.
Like without objectives, eventually, there were ways that you could not kill certain models because of toughness and different things like that. And because of objectives, you could get around that and still win a game.
Yeah.
And I think with Age of Sigmar, it's kind of similar in that you can get these armies that seem like they're really kind of anti this or anti that, or their weakness is this or their strength is that, but with objectives, it's up in the air.
Yeah, it really makes a big difference, and I think it evens the playing field. If you've got an army that's really good at killing everything on the table, but you're not fast or you're not good at stopping magic, I feel like that whole rock, paper, scissors element is removed from the game with so much emphasis on victory points now.
Yeah, for sure.
And Age of Sigmar in general, I think it's in the best state of like the history of Warhammer Fantasy. I think Warhammer Fantasy into Age of Sigmar, this is the best it's ever been.
You think so?
I think it.
That's that's good.
I've only been in it since 2012. But that's going on 7 years, and I feel like it's the best it's ever been. I think as far as the range of models, all the different ways to play, all the options on how to play, and I think that this last year has really shown since Age of Sigmar 2. I think all the things they took away when Age of Sigmar first came out, I think they've given it all back.
Yeah.
And then some.
And then
really?
some.
Yeah,
for real. I think there's whatever way you want to play the game, I think there's something there for you.
Right. And I know there's a big emphasis on the match play, the points.
Oh, yeah.
It's always been about the points, trying to be able to create that, even, hey, I got this, you got that, let's play. But I like the open. I like the narrative. It's just one of those, hey, let's what you got?
Yeah.
Let's throw it down. Let's play.
Yeah, and this latest General's Handbook has been interesting because it really does kind of open some opportunities with open play and narrative play.
It does.
With the way you can kind of like randomly generate armies, different things like that. Like I like matched play. I like that definitely for the balancedness of it. Going to Crucible, playing it in a tournament. You want to play something balanced, but I think there's opportunity too, just in a narrative sense, for those random armies to come together, and what's the story makes sense, and things like that. So I think it's a really fun time.
It is, and I at the same time as the game itself has been getting better, that Warhammer universe has finally been fleshed out. The Age of Sigmar. We really, with the core book that came out last year and all of the novels and all of the short stories they've released and what they've put out in White Dwarf, we really have a picture that we didn't have for the last 6 years of what is this world that we're playing in? It was this confusing story that unless you did a lot of research on your own, you didn't know what this world was compared to other fantasy worlds, and now all that information is out there and easy to get a good starting point. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and a lot of it at first, honestly, was just a mirror of like 40K and the whole like Adeptus Astartes. That was like, like doing this for the Emperor and doing the blah 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 whatever. Yeah. It was like all of a sudden they just basically took that that sort of recipe and applied it to Stormcast Eternals, and then all of the stuff you read was about Stormcast Eternals and doing it for Sigmar and yada yada yada. It was like, oh my god, like this is the same shit that I've just been reading in 40K.
Right.
How is this any different? Like, I don't know anything else. There's all these other races. There's all these other realms. They can't be so two-dimensional. So, like, either you're Stormcast or you're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden with, Age of Sigmar 2.0, they really, and just a little bit before that, they really started to, I think it was Malign Portents was the biggest move they made towards, this is what it's like for people inside the realms.
The people that aren't, that you don't have war scrolls for. These are the people that are tilling the fields.
Yes.
And building the cities. And these are the people that aren't fighting the battles. What's life like for them?
Yeah.
Why is any of this worth talking about, if you're not in a fight?
Right.
It's been great that they were finally able to flesh that out.
Yeah. And then now, here we are with Skirmish.
Yes.
We got some new rules at the beginning of the year.
Right, which is brings us back to, I guess, what is going to be like the title subject of our episode.
Right.
Warcry for $6.
Right.
So Warcry is the latest version of Age of Sigmar that's just been released, and I think it just officially came out this past. Is it today that you can officially buy it, or was it last weekend?
Not sure. Oh yeah, I don't know. You could pre-order it.
Yeah, for 2 weeks
Yeah,
now
a
you
little
can
bit,
pre-order. I think, but right now, this is the first
Officially,
weekend in August.
bring it home.
Yeah, officially
Tear
bring
off
it
the
home.
plastic.
Warcry. So how would you guys describe Warcry compared to regular Age of Sigmar?
Well, skirmish battles. I think that's a big emphasis.
That's definitely how
right?
they describe this. What is a skirmish battle?
Well, smaller armies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a
Just
handful
a small
of models.
war band.
Little war band.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Kill Team for Age of Sigmar.
There you go.
Yes. Kill Team
Yep.
for Age of Sigmar.
But the
And-
funny thing is, Kill
Yes.
Team had a separate rule system than
completely
40K.
Yeah, completely separate.
That's what this
And-
has, I believe.
And
It does.
exactly right. So what it was weird is, GW came out with Skirmish, which was
Two versions of Skirmish.
Yeah.
two versions, right? So this is like 2.0, right?
Yep.
Yep.
But it's built off the core system of Age of Sigmar
Right.
with some specific modifications for Skirmish.
Yes.
Right.
So it's
more restrictions than
Yeah,
additions.
right.
Just
It's
going, hey,
a
this
little
is,
bit of
you can't
additions,
use this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a big thing, like, they have new allegiance abilities for each one,
Yep.
which is my biggest kind of like, why? Like,
Yeah.
But you're right. Like Adam, you mentioned, like, maybe they play tested some things and they were like, hey,
Get the balance.
Get the balance in there. So let's assume they got the balance. Let's assume they, did their homework. So Skirmish came out with some limitations to kind of, limit it for whatever. But Warcry is a whole new rule set. A whole
brand new thing.
It's a whole new way to attack, fight, move, battle cards, all this kind of stuff. It's like, wait, Underworlds was that.
Yeah, so that's what I want to like clear up for anybody who hasn't been watching from the get-go. Age of Sigmar came out in what was that, 2015?
Yeah, 3 years ago.
2014, 2015?
2016.
Yeah, well, we had a 2015 GHB, right?
Yeah.
So it was
Oh,
Yeah,
2014.
I thought so. Yeah.
5 years ago, right?
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I could be totally
Yeah.
wrong. Anyway, it comes out, and it's
Yeah.
a brand new rule system, which in a major way shattered an existing gaming community because it's totally different from the edition that came before it, which was the 8th edition, which had been out for a while. It was a very controversial release when Age of Sigmar first came out. Age of Sigmar had been out for a couple of years when someone finally put out Skirmish. So Skirmish was I don't want to say watered down, but it was a watered down isn't accurate because it didn't take rules away.
No.
It actually added rules, but it was made so that you, instead of having to have fielding an army, you could field a handful of models, 5 to 10 models, to play a game that was competitive, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You know,
totally.
if you liked Age of Sigmar,
smaller, quicker
battles, it was a great way to introduce people to the game. And
Focus on painting like a certain amount of models.
a small amount of models. And when they introduced Skirmish, they sold it as a separate book,
Correct.
which was something like
$10.
under $10 over the counter. You could get Skirmish
Yeah.
and just go out there and start playing. And all you would need was the war scroll information for the units you were fielding, plus
Which you get for free.
which you get for free. Any
And-
models you buy, you download
because
these rules for free.
Because the sub $10 rule set came with points
Right.
for the models that were included. It didn't include every. So the weak point of it was it didn't include every model of Age of Sigmar,
True.
but
But
it was under $10.
yep.
And you could field most of the infantry level models
Right.
of the game.
Yeah, it didn't
Yeah.
cater to the older models, right? It was only
No,
like the plastic
uh,
ones that had just been.
At the time, though,
Released.
Yeah, you're right. It was
Yeah.
like it catered towards plastic molds and infantry based.
but there was definitely enough wiggle room in there that you could use you could replace models and you could play with what you had.
Yes.
And to get out there and just start playing games, you didn't have to spend
Yeah.
a ton of money on a whole army.
Right, because the rules
Right.
were for free.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you spend $10, you've got
Just for the
a
skirmish.
playing system, skirmish, points, all that jazz.
Yeah. And it was its own unique thing. Skip forward a few years, they came out with Underworlds,
Yep.
which was a whole new game system. Using models from Age of Sigmar, Underworlds is another skirmish type game that using only like 3 to 6 models, usually in a Underworlds warband. And I haven't played Underworlds. I've bought
Right.
the box set. And I have a bunch of the Underworlds models and a bunch of the Underworlds cards, but I haven't played it. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one being that Underworlds cards. Underworlds is a different rule set. So Skirmish took the Age of Sigmar rules and added just rules on how to play with a smaller warband. So it wasn't really a new rule set. It was just a subset of rules for the existing thing.
Right.
Underworlds is a totally different set of rules.
Correct.
Yeah.
Have you guys played Underworlds at all?
I have
No.
not. I do have some models, but
Same here.
I don't I've not played it.
I haven't played it either. I've listened to people play it. The barriers to entry, all these different games, whatever these games you're into, cost money. So there's a barrier of entry that at least is going to be, I have so much money I'm willing to spend on such a game. If you want to play Xbox games, number one barrier to entry is buying an Xbox. So you're out that whatever $300,
Right.
whatever version of the Xbox is, plus the Xbox service fee, plus whatever the cost of the actual game you're playing. So all these different games you play are gonna have a barrier to entry financially. So I'm already playing Age of Sigmar. I've already spent my money to get in. The barrier of entry to play Skirmish, very low, because I would just need to spend the $10 to get that extra rules.
Right.
Underworlds is different because Underworlds had specific models you needed to have in order to play. You could probably customize them and use models you already have, but after that, there's the Underworlds rule set, and Underworlds requires you to have specific cards to play the game. You have to have this deck of cards, which if you played games like X-Wing, the
Yep.
Star Wars
Yeah,
X-Wing
you got cards.
or Magic the Gathering, you have cards. It's a deck building game and a miniatures game, or HeroClix. If you've ever played HeroClix, HeroClix had cards, miniatures, dice, the maps you need on the table. Underworlds, you already had a little bit of the buy-in from already playing Age of Sigmar, but really it was a whole new game.
Yeah.
You had to get all these other things, so there was all the other things you had to get to join into the game.
Right.
Unlike Skirmish, you just needed the one more set of rules.
Right.
Yeah.
So definitely a much bigger buy-in.
Right.
Yeah.
And what you already have on the shelf.
Yeah, exactly. So you there's lots of really cool stuff in Warhammer Underworlds, but it's a bigger buy-in. It's a brand new game.
And you know, and to compare it to Warcry, for example, so
Warcry.
now all of a sudden, hey, boom, this long-awaited. What is Warcry? What is it gonna be? This long-awaited, like,
Because we were like hinted at it back in April.
right, and we were wanting to start our own skirmish style campaign. We wanted to start this, like, hey, build a character. Let's do skirmish into Path to Glory, into then like full-on Age of Sigmar, you know, war battle, you know, like with 2,000 points or whatever. And then it's like, well, Warcry is coming. Like, are we wasting our time? Is everything going to change?
The hints that were dropped about Warcry made it all seem very much like it was going to be like Kill Team.
Yeah.
Which is what it's turned out to be.
Right.
But there were also hints that it was going to be that character builder thing, which you had taken. Where'd you get that?
From the chapter approved 40K book.
Yes. And that is there anything like that in Kill Team?
No. Kill Team is very much like, hey, here is your limited amount of models that you can choose to play with from that faction, and you could give them the guns that you want to give them, or the different like kit them out the way you want to, weapons wise, but not build a character wise.
Yeah.
Not like, hey, I'm going to start this guy and I'm going to add on some different, command traits and abilities and things like that, or improve their characteristics or whatever it might be. It was more like, do they have a bolter, or do they have or do they have like a bolt pistol and a chainsword?
Just loadouts.
Yeah.
Huh? That's
Yeah,
it.
weapon loadouts.
Yeah.
So when Warcry landed, it was like, then we see the previews and it's like, oh, so it's a different card, it's a different stat, it's a different characteristic set, all this kind of stuff, and you have a limited amount of models that you can play with it. So I can only now play with, like, a very limited amount of the already Age of Sigmar armies. Like, for example, Age of Sigmar or Karjan Overlords are an Age of Sigmar only army, and they're not even in Warcry.
No.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so if I'm a Karjan Overlord player, now I have to go buy another army
That has
to get
nothing
into.
to do with it.
Nothing
That
to do
nothing
with
to
what
do
you're
with it
already doing.
whatsoever.
I don't even think are Fire Slayers even an army?
I don't
know.
I think Fire Slayers are, but I don't remember off the top of my head for sure either way.
But still, like, they're two completely different armies.
There's
Even
nothing,
if you're a dwarf
dwarves.
player, like, if you're into Karjan Overlords, that doesn't mean you're into Fire Slayers.
What I do think is kind of interesting, because I haven't done a deep dive into Warcry yet, but I do think with one of the factions that I think is in the starter box is the Ironweld something.
Iron Golems?
Iron Golems, maybe. But there is one of their models that looks like it's a dwarf.
Yes.
Like a chaos
Yep.
dwarf.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
It looks like a dwarf who's like wearing all the same armor as these other humans.
Yeah.
That's fun.
And
I like that.
Yeah, it is fun.
Totally like that.
That's cool if you come out with these models, and then what they've been doing is like, hey, you can now use them for Age of Sigmar.
Yes.
Which is cool.
Yes.
But
Like Underworlds.
yes, but it's like Warcry came out. It's like, but you've been working on Skirmish because you did a couple months of development
2
into
months
Skirmish,
in White
Skirmish
Dwarf.
for White Dwarf, and it's like, okay, so buy the White Dwarf, get the Skirmish rules. And
next
then we're
month-
going to come out with a new game, and you're not going to want to play Skirmish anymore. It's like, okay, so wait, what?
What? Yeah. So okay. So in January,
do you think that was an introduction to the smaller games? Just
I don't. I think it was a filler. I think it was like, what the hell are we gonna do for these next 2 months to get people excited about Age of Sigmar and get people buying this magazine, which is gonna get them excited about next month, which is gonna get them excited about buying paint, which is gonna. It's the nature of the business. They have a business. They want to sell models, and I'm fully on board with that. I love buying models. I love building models. I love painting models, and I love playing with models. But I don't want. I need a certain amount of return on my dollar.
Right. Which is, let's invest in the Age of Sigmar, and then Skirmish fit in so well.
Fits in perfectly, because particularly if you're like, I love playing Age of Sigmar. I'm interested in building this second Age of Sigmar army. While I'm building it up, I can do a little at a time and play some skirmish games. And after a skirmish campaign, I jump into a Path to Glory campaign, which is another type of building campaign system. Then I've got, at the end of a Path to Glory campaign, I probably have a whole brand new army I'm ready to play that I've played through since the beginning, that I've like named my hero, named my lieutenants, and I've built it up. It's very themed. It's very specific. And I'm committed to it. This isn't just an army. This is my army of miniatures that I've built over the past year. That haven't just like slammed together for a tournament. Like, I've been emotionally engaged in this process from day one. It's a different experience. Warcry, and this is me just looking at it. I've watched the videos and I've watched how they've done the release and everything, and there are some great models. The new terrain is fantastic. I'm excited about all of this. It is a different game.
Yeah.
Skirmish is Age of Sigmar Skirmish. It's taking Age of Sigmar and paring it down to a not light.
Yeah.
But
it's not necessarily like, don't go buy Warcry if you want to play Warcry. It's like, just know that you don't have to buy Warcry just to play a skirmish game.
And
right.
What's different between Warcry and Skirmish? There are a lot of things that are the same, and there are a lot of things that are different. And so I have not played Warcry yet, but I have watched a lot of gameplay videos that they've put out so far. And what I can tell that it's different, they're all very subtle things as far as the way combat works.
Yahtzee.
Yes. People say that, and it's like, it's very much like playing Yahtzee and seeing what hits and what lands. And I can see the comparison is there with Skirmish. I think in broad strokes, the combat isn't drastically different, but it is a different rules set. So you're not going to use the same stats. Skirmish, you're going to use the same statistics as you would in Age of Sigmar. You're looking at the same war scroll. You're looking at the same to hit, to wound, to save rolls from Skirmish, which is going to be different in Warcry. It's going to be different numbers. I think the way that Warcry is different, I think there are ways to capitalize on the terrain more, and there are ways to make the individual units more. But I do think everything that the things I'm excited about with Warcry, they've got this deck of cards for battle plans, deck of cards for conditions of war, deck of cards for how to set up the game. That's all things they could have just added to Skirmish without having to make a brand new game.
But if you look in the new General's Handbook,
yeah,
they have a lot of shit in there for what sort of battle plan to create, what sort of units to bring. And I know the what sort of units to bring is more like, like larger games than Skirmish. But so let's take that back. Let's say, okay, what's the battle plan? Okay, so you have battle plan choosers. it also had like the whole fighting in the city streets rules and stuff.
That's a whole
like,
thing that was just came out of this last Journal's Handbook.
Yeah, like there's a lot of cool stuff that came out of that could be adapted for Skirmish.
Yes.
Easily.
Yes.
So why don't they come out with another White Dwarf that says, hey, let's adapt the General's Handbook for Skirmish. Here's all the things to do, blah.
I think there's a lot more there, and I think if I had a better perspective on a bigger picture, maybe there is something that's very obvious that I could just say, and to not make it just be a purely financial reason. I don't think it's purely a financial reason.
But let's look at the history here.
The history
for 40K,
support that.
Right? Like, I bought Kill Team for 40K 7th edition.
Yeah.
Well, then right after that, they came out with Shadow War. So I bought Shadow War. Well, Shadow War was just Kill Team, but a different edition of 40K rules. It was like 3rd edition 40K rules or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was a different rule set. And it was like, well, why are you changing the rule set? It was because, well, people remembered this cool, nostalgic, blah, blah, blah. Well, then right after they came out with Shadow War, they came out with an updated version of Kill Team that we have today that's based on the new rule set, but nobody plays Shadow War anymore because Kill Team is the same thing, just matching a newer 40K rule set, but still has limitations on models you can pick and all that stuff and blah, blah, blah. It's like, what the fuck?
I know. And this is all within 40K.
That's 40K.
Yeah.
Right.
So we have Age of Sigmar. We have Age of Sigmar Skirmish.
Right.
Now we have Age of Sigmar Warcry.
Right.
We still have Underworlds, and there is still an Underworlds new Beastgrave set that's supposed to come out any day now, which still looks really cool.
And what about Shadespire?
That's what I mean. Underworld, Shadespire. It's all those are all one thing.
The same thing. Yeah.
These are cannibals living on the same island with no fruits or vegetables. I think Warcry and Shadespire are going to immediately. I don't know what kind of.
Who's gonna play Underworlds?
Yeah.
That like who's gonna go like, oh, I'm gonna go into Underworlds and not Warcry.
Or
you know
Warcry,
what I mean?
and I'm not going to get Underworlds.
Yeah.
And they both involved extra cards, extra things on the table. Right. Like, both of them are maybe usable in an Age of Sigmar game, but that's the thing with, like, all the Shadespire stuff that came out. Like I got a couple of sets, you got a couple of sets, you got the one set. Like, you can use in a normal Age of Sigmar game, you can use those Age of Sigmar or those Shadespire models, and they have unique character names and titles, but they're very specific. You have to use them for that one specific thing to buy them into your army. So even if you did have them, you're not necessarily going to use them in an Age of Sigmar game if you're going to use them as they're sold.
Right.
Maybe use them as for customizing into something else.
Yeah.
But still, it's not like a direct one-to-one. It's not like a freebie in this other system. So Warcry and Underworlds are in instant competition with each other. And I guarantee there's someone in some accounting department with Games Workshop saying, the fuck are you doing? You just took my Underworld's profit and took a big chunk out of it. Whoever was making money off Underworlds just lost money to Warcry. There was definitely a parasitic thing that's happening right now between those two. How can there not be? And I don't know what internal math is happening that's making this work out, but they are definitely two game systems using the same models. They're in competition with each other right now on the stand. Because
it's still the same, like 5, 6, 7 models.
Right. And you think about your average game store. Or locally, we go to Sci-Fi City, Coliseum Comics. What's the other one you like?
Collective.
Yep. They only have so much shelf space. And so these games within, they're in competition with each other for the same shelf space. There's models. There's boxes coming down, boxes going up on the shelf. There's only so much room. They're gonna have to choose which one they think is gonna sell the most. So if Warcry becomes suddenly super popular, that's Underworld stuff that's gonna lose shelf space.
It's gonna suffer.
It is.
And is Age of Sigmar so popular
Right.
that somebody can walk into the store and decide to get the newest thing, and then people are still going to play with them in a couple months?
I don't understand why Skirmish isn't the safe go-to.
Right.
Put out a new Skirmish rule set instead of a $70 Warcry book. Put out a $70 Skirmish book with lots of little boxes of Skirmish miniatures.
Right.
Lots of little boxes of Skirmish cards that are all usable in Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
You know, that seems so obvious to me. So I'd like to the subject we were talking about is, if you want to play Warcry and you want to get an idea for what it might be like, but you don't want to spend the money right now on Warcry, if you already have Azir, which is the app for Age of Sigmar, you can go into the books in Azir, and there's a book there called Skirmish.
Yeah.
And it's $6.
$6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can click
Wait, what?
And that's
6
6
or 60?
6.0.
Point
No, 60?
6.00
Oh.
or $5.99.
Oh.
You can go into
There we go.
Azir,
That's better.
download these Skirmish rules. Or if
That's
you
the
don't
older
want
ones, but still you can get the updated ones,
the
right?
updated ones that came out in January
Okay, so
and
you can
February.
spend $9 and buy a
Right.
White Dwarf, which
White
has
Dwarf,
lots of other stuff
Yeah.
in it as
which
well.
has the new 2.0 Age of Sigmar.
So the January
Skirmish.
and February issue of 2019,
Yeah.
Yep.
right?
But technically, you don't need the February in order to play Sigmar.
True.
You just need January.
Yeah.
January has the new rules.
February has some more battle plans.
Right.
Yes, and in a campaign.
Yeah. So technically,
setup.
you could just spend $9
Yes.
and get the new Skirmish. But
most
still, you could
up-to-date.
still buy the $6 for sale Skirmish rulebook on Azir and pretty much play the same as Warcry.
There's differences.
Barely.
Barely. Like, as far as, like,
You don't get
what
to say
do the-
Yahtzee, though.
What do the models look like? What are the models' names? Where do they go on the table? What's their movement?
But that's it. But
Right.
but you, by the rule set, you most likely can take what you have already,
Yes.
throw them down there on the table and play. Not new models, not having to assemble anything. Now that's glorious. I mean,
It is.
If you want, a new game, that's perfectly fine. I like that. It's just something. But if you want to play a smaller battle, just pick what you already have.
Yeah.
Take it
and
down.
try it out. And,
Try it
and
out.
figure out if you want to buy a whole brand new army.
Right. Or if
and
you happen
that's-
to have like a board game like
Like what?
the Warhammer Quest, the
Yeah.
Silver
Yeah.
Tower.
Yeah, Silver
Like,
Tower.
I've got
Handful
the
of
Silver
those.
Tower.
Yeah.
I
Silver
could
Tower has
field the
everything you
Zine
need.
skirmish army.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. Or those other expansions. And there's all these different starter sets for Age of Sigmar proper
Right.
that have more than you could need for Skirmish.
Yeah.
And you can use them in Age of Sigmar. Unlike, I don't know what is in the new Warcry stuff that is going to be playable in any Age of Sigmar games.
Right.
There are Warcry cards you can get for existing Age of Sigmar armies. Iron Jaws, Daughters of Cain.
Right.
Those are out there.
Right. That's about it.
But, yeah, those are for
Just
armies
for
that
you.
already exist.
And you have to buy that,
You
60
Yeah, $60
or
rulebook.
whatever it
Right.
is. I don't know what it is.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know what it's going to be on its own. I've only seen the main box set, which is like $150. It comes with a beautiful terrain set. And I love
sure.
the beautiful terrain.
I bet.
And there's little subtle rules. Like one of the rules I saw was that because it's for Skirmish, if you're going from a rooftop to a rooftop, for example, can't count the down movement. If your model
Do like a jump.
your model can jump. If your
Okay.
model has enough movement to
Oh,
cover
gotcha.
the gap,
Yep.
then they don't have to cover the up and down. They can jump across.
That's
they
cool.
can leap the
I
distance,
like that.
which is neat
Yeah,
when you're
that's
talking
cool.
about which is awesome. But that's an
added.
That's a paragraph you can add to an existing
yeah.
skirmish rule.
Yep.
So if you want to experience Warcry without buying it, you can play Skirmish and buy one of these Skirmish hardback books, which are still for sale in a lot of comic shops. You can download the Skirmish rules off of Azir, which are still there, or you can buy the White Dwarf from earlier in January, or download, which is still available to download that White Dwarf from January too,
Right.
if you want to download that online.
Right.
All these ways you can experience a Warcry type game for under $10.
Right. True. Yeah. I mean, you can always buy that game, but
And I love the model. See, if they... I fully love what Games Workshop does. I don't understand a lot of what they do financially, and I feel like so much of what they do is just this like parasitic cannibalism that happens internally. I just feel like Underworlds and Warcry, they're just two game systems that are stealing right now from each other. Underworlds has been out for a while, and it is going to lose money to Warcry. And I think that there's money that Warcry could be making because there's more Underworld stuff coming out that
People are going to buy.
that
because
people are
they're
going to
playing
buy.
Underworld.
Yep.
And they had to choose. And,
Yeah.
and people have only so much money to spend on entertainment. And they're going to have to choose between Age of Sigmar, Warcry, and Underworlds. And all three are just going to just take money from each other. I don't know what happens internally that they instead of putting something out there that could be part of both without taking money from both, could invest in both. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you had an Underworlds, a way to add to Underworlds that also added to Age of Sigmar, instead of something wholly different that is just a totally different thing. Like if it had been that character builder thing that we've been talking about for a while.
yeah,
Like if it
that
was
would've
like
been sweet.
if they had a way to personalize, if they had a way to introduce something that you could create a character that you could use in all of these systems, in Warcry, Underworlds, and Age of Sigmar, I can name my guy and my Scarch Coldblood that I'm playing in our Skirmish campaign right now. If I could take Scarch to a tournament, you know what I mean? Like, hey, here's the rules. Here's my Scarch from the tournament. That's one of the things too. Like in D&D has this living world with the Adventurers League. My character that I build in Adventurers League, I can take to any Adventurers League game because I have registered my Adventurers League account. I've followed the Adventurers League rules.
Right.
I can show up with my Adventurers League, Dungeons & Dragons Adventurers League, level 5 Paladin, and I can play him anywhere I go that's an Adventurers League game.
Plus all of the magic items and the other special
They
equipment.
carry over. And I have registered numbers.
That's so fun, yeah.
Yes. I can show you and say, hey, I played this place on this
Oh,
time,
yeah.
and I got this magic item that lets me, like, you know, kill certain types of monsters. I feel like that's what Warhammer is missing, is that living world, you know? And I think Warcry and Underworlds, they could be a part of that, but man, I just feel like they're missing out on it. And they had two big whiffs with those two game systems. I'll give you
A shame.
What do you
Total
guys
shame.
think? Do you think I'm like,
No. I don't think you're far off. No, at all.
it's frustrating because I fucking love this game. And I really want to see it grow, and I feel I hate seeing it steal from itself because I feel like that's just
But-
one more chance we like lose
It
our game
doesn't-
that we love.
It just doesn't get to dive a little deeper because
Yes.
they come out with something new
Yeah.
that scratches the surface in another way.
In a way that we want, because like all the feedback that I've seen is people like, yeah, people keep asking for more skirmish stuff. Well, what the fuck is Underworlds if people are asking for more skirmish stuff? Underworlds is fucking skirmish.
Right.
You know, if people are asking for more skirmish stuff, Underworlds obviously didn't scratch that itch, but plenty of people bought it, so you can't abandon it. So you come out with Warcry, which is not, still, it's not Age of Sigmar.
Right.
is connected, but it's not part of the game.
It's its own rule set.
Yes.
Yep.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
But if you want to join our skirmish community, I think we are going to keep putting stuff out there with our battle reports, and we're going to put it out there where you can see the Nicholas put together this character builder thing. We're going to share that with everybody and make sure everybody gets a chance to see what that looks like. I'm also going to compile a list of tips and tricks for skirmish games that we've learned from playing each other. For example, the game we played tonight, 30 by 36 is the max you want to have for any kind of skirmish map. We did a 36 by 48 tonight, and it was too big. There was my orcs never fought any death units.
No,
the entire game we never made contact. Couldn't get there. So that's one thing skirmish wise. Keep the maps small, because smaller units there's just no way to get there. So keep the tips and tricks. We're going to be sharing.
You want
lots
it
of
to be
stuff
action packed.
Yes,
make it smaller, and people are going to be action packed.
Absolutely, and we're also
if you play multiple players, it helps with the balance.
Absolutely, it does that too, and that's another thing with Triumphant Treachery. We play a lot of Triumphant Treachery, so I think we'll have lots more tips and tricks for that. Anything else you guys want to say about Warcry?
No.
I'm sure it's fun. I'm sure it's a great time.
I'm sure it is too, but I
It's
don't
got great models. Love the models, but it's not necessary right now. I mean, if you want to dive in, hey, that's fine.
Fully
But
support. Want to hear
if
it.
you just want to take a couple models off the shelf, or hey, you know what? I only like these from a faction. I don't want to build a whole damn army around them. I just want to play with these few.
Yep.
That's fine too.
Yep.
Just do that.
Absolutely. Try just the skirmish rules. Pick up the White Dwarf, pick up the skirmish rules in his ear.
Yeah.
Try out skirmish for a few games, and if you're liking that, then decide: do you want Warcry, or do you want to play Age of Sigmar, or do you want to just keep playing skirmish? What do you think, Nicholas?
Yeah, I think those are great thoughts. I think Underworld satisfied that itch of a different for people. I think it satisfied that like, hey, you wanted something a little different than just playing Age of Sigmar, playing 40K, different things like that. Age of Sigmar already had skirmish.
Yes,
and they came out with a new skirmish rule set. It confuses me.
Yes.
Is really what it does. It just confuses me. Like, what am I investing my time in?
Yes.
Don't waste my time with trying to play campaigns and build out communities for doing things that are set in place and then change it all of a sudden.
I would love to hear some of their market research for the people that buy Underworlds with the hopes of playing with a friend, and how many people bought Underworlds last month that found out their friends are going to play Warcry.
Yeah.
And these people that just spent $60 are going to find out, I'm never going to use anything from that $60 I just spent. I just wasted $60. My friends want me to play Warcry, but I know other friends that want me to play this other game, and now I'm going to choose between Warcry and this other game, and GW burned me, so I'm going to play this other thing. I'm curious about that. And plus, Underworlds is a miniatures game, but it is also a deck building game.
Yeah. No.
You have to have the cards, and there are cards that don't come in every set. So if you want to play Underworlds,
anything to do with that, honestly.
No, I'm done with
cards. Nope. Got you right there. I don't want anything to do with it.
The models are fantastic. I feel like the gameplay is
awesome.
fantastic.
Yeah, sure.
If I have to buy a Skaven box to get the card I want to play for my Stormcast Underworlds team, what the fuck?
Nope.
Why am I buying a deck to get this one card because I'm a ultra competitive gamer, because I'm playing with ultra competitive gamers? No, that is cheap, just underhanded tactics that a lot of gaming companies use. Yeah. It's the Wizards of the Coast Magic the Gathering standard that was set up a long time ago, which made them super rich and famous, and I'm sure it's making lots of money for Games Workshop. And I bet there's a lot of people with unpainted models where they just wanted to get that one card so they could go to the tournament and play Underworlds. But that's some messed up shit. That is where you're playing you're paying to play, but you know the people that set the standard for you.
Right.
These are people that I'm here to play. I'm here to play and I'm here to have fun, and I'm willing to spend money to play and have fun. But if you're using a dirty, underhanded trick to get me to spend an extra $25 just so I can get that one card I need to be competitive, because I want to be competitive, I want a competitive edge, and you're charging me that extra $25 just to get that one card, I'm gonna remember, and I'm gonna resent you, and I'm gonna cut every corner I can until I feel like I've got my money back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People remember that.
Right. You want to exploit.
You want to exploit me, and I'm going to do what I can to get even.
Yep.
You know, and don't be that business.
Yeah.
And I feel like Warcry and Underworlds are both, in their own way, exploiting people when they don't have to. They've got an amazing system, amazing models. They don't have to exploit to get money, and to internally smash. Warcry is a competing game from Underworlds. They're taking money from themselves. I don't understand it. All right. Well, I've rambled plenty. We've had lots to drink. What's been our drink of choice this evening? What is your favorite beer this evening?
What do you think?
Yeah. There have been some good ones tonight.
There's been some really good ones.
Yeah.
We had the oh damn it, the first one that we had. It was at Amber.
Yeah, the
Right,
tank.
that was really good. The Tank brewery out of Miami.
Yep.
That was
That-
good.
that was
It
good.
had subtle, the subtle notes of.
It was decent.
Yeah,
you know,
of that.
not a big amber ale fan,
Yeah, me
but
either.
usually it's a little lame. But this one was really good.
Yeah, it was good.
And then we had your Play Linda.
The Play Linda Red.
Yeah, the
ale.
red.
That was
yeah,
That was pretty
yeah.
good.
That's pretty good.
But
You know,
the,
just-
the dragon's milk.
I'm still drinking the Dragon's Milk. Oh my
It was
God,
pretty
I'm
good.
loving it.
That was awesome. Yeah, so that
So
was
good.
a
The
bourbon
notes of
barrel,
caramel and
right?
but
it-
subtle notes of fruit, which I didn't grab. But hey, if that made it taste so smooth and
But here's the thing: it was a white stout.
a white
they called
stout.
it
Yeah. Very different.
white stout. You think a stout? You think Guinness? You think of like motor oil? You know.
But I could see it.
Not
I could
this-
see it. Like,
yeah.
yeah, definitely. If you picture like just a lighter, clearer Guinness, I could see the similarity. Very sweet finish.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Nice. I like it
It
a
was
lot.
good.
So, hope you guys are enjoying listening to us. Nicholas, they can get a hold of you.
Yep, you can search Warlando Nick on Instagram, Twitter, search Facebook Warlando.
Mark.
Yeah, Warlando Mark. You know, we are main page is our Warlando at Facebook.
Yep.
Warlando Mark for Instagram. Have the Twitter page, but
Yeah.
Trying
If
to
you
keep
want,
it low on the-
if Twitter's your thing, go
Yeah, that's
Warlando
cool.
Nick or
Yeah,
Warlando
that's
Adam.
fine. Yeah.
But yeah, and then I'm Warlando Adam on Twitter, and I'm just Warlando on Instagram, and the Facebook group is the best place to go.
Yeah, just go there.
We have a Ko-Fi account, just Ko-Fi/Warlando. That's us. If you like what we're doing, you want to buy us a beer, head on Ko-Fi, buy us a beer, and we also have some T-shirts up on Teespring. If you want to help us out, keep us going, and doing reviews and more, just talking about anything you're interested in, buy a T-shirt. Help us out.
Yeah, that's awesome. And if you're local or if you're down visiting, give us a call.
Yes.
If you want to have a beer with us, let's do that.
please.
Shoot us a message. Let's play some games.
Yeah,
drink
let's-
a beer, whatever it is.
There's plenty of places around, some good places to have some games around here.
Games and beer, lots of
really
places
appreciative
to do both.
of that. All right, yeah, totally.
We're gonna be at Dragon Con soon too. The Dragon Con's right around the
Oh,
corner.
Yeah.
Exciting. And then the Crucible's not far after that. There's a lot
my
of. This is the
God.
best time of year. It's the best time of year. What do the orcs say about this time of year? Fucking love this game.